I was on a roll. For 30 minutes straight, I'd been firing on all cylinders, delivering a virtual speech for dozens of college campus advisors about building environments where students feel seen and heard. We talked about empathy, understanding, incorporating diverse perspectives, and active listening. I told the famous Ed story from my TEDx talk. It was as close to a perfect presentation as I know how to give. And then my phone rang. Well, it lit up anyway. My phone was on silent, of course, and out of view of the camera. I could see it, but the audience couldn't. It was my 10-month-old's daycare calling. I literally started sweating. They had never called in the middle of the workday before. Something must be very, very wrong. At that point, I realized I was still talking, working off of muscle memory from having given a version of this presentation hundreds, if not thousands of times. The call went to voicemail, and I had a choice I had only ever seen in the movies. Either abandon my professional obligation to check on my family at the risk of my reputation, or power through my professional obligation at the risk of my family. I'm sorry, I just have to pause for a moment. I just missed a call from my baby's daycare, and they've never called during the day before. I need to step out and call them back. Can someone take over for just a minute? The host popped back on the screen and was like, oh my goodness, go, of course. By the way, my name is Brian Miller. I'm a former magician turned author and speaker on human connection. I stepped right out that door into the hallway and called the daycare back. The director didn't even know they'd called me, which meant it couldn't be that bad. I asked her to call my wife directly, who I knew was on a break from work. When I jumped back on Zoom a few minutes later, the chat was ablaze with support and concern for my baby. I told them it couldn't be that bad and that I would keep them up to date as I found out anything. And then, without missing a beat, dove right back into my presentation. When it was all over, I got the virtual equivalent of a standing ovation. During the Q&A, I got a text from my wife. He's just got a fever, so they're sending him home early. I'm on my way to pick him up. I relayed the information to the audience, who sighed right along with me in relief. But after the call, two thoughts occurred to me. One, an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the kindness and humanity of the audience, who made me feel so seen, heard, and understood in that moment of brief panic. And two, disappointment that we live in an age when I was genuinely concerned that by acting like a human, I might endanger my professional reputation. That particular group of advisors proved that there is still so much grace to go around. We can treat each other not as cogs in a machine or means to an end, but as people with individual internal lives that matter. And I'm proud of myself for walking out of a professional commitment, for placing my concern for my son over my work, not just in theory, but in practice. When I think of all the movies where the work-obsessed protagonist finally chooses family over work at the climax, it occurs to me that not one time does the movie end with the protagonist wishing they'd stayed in the office.
Merry Christmas!
Yes, we should be responsible and accountable at work. Yes, being a professional means making promises and keeping them. But being a professional is a choice. Being human shouldn't be. Do you want to stop cringing and start connecting? I got a great resource for you, 7 ways to talk to anyone without looking like an idiot. You can grab it for free at softskillsarehard.com. That's it for this week. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and I will see you soon.